In the paint, stops on a dime, gets that one to fall.
Hitting the first three for either side in this match and answers right back.
Ivor Napa for three. That straightaway three is good.
North, these two teams know each other well.
So now the Truth turns the ball over again. On the run and the move up. Bolina, it's good.
Tasendaha, they've been doing this
Watch
for
out.
years. Oh, Lino Mari with a stop. From the streets to the spotlight, from hometown courts to the national stage, this is Court Report. Hi everyone, I'm Stan C, delivering you the ins and outs as we march towards the 2026 Smart NBTC National Finals presented by SM Supermalls. From Davao to Zamboanga, from Cagayan de Oro to General Santos City, Mindanao has long been a pipeline of basketball brilliance. Don't mistake its distance away from the capital as it's produced some of the top stars we're cheering for today. The names speak for themselves. Scotty Thompson, Gio Halalon, Basera Mer, Mac Bello, Mike Tolomia. All of those names and many more have gone through the NBTC pipeline. And what stands out among them is their grit, a trait imparted on them by their equally determined mentors. Take for example, Coach Jess Evangelio, who led the Davao region to the Palarong Pambansa crown and sustained that meticulous attention to detail by anchoring the Philippines to the gold medal in the ASEAN School Games. And as our 16th season goes on, we can't wait to discover even more talents as they all try to take that Mindanao pride to greater heights. We're showing some love to the South this week on our playbook, and our guest today hails from Bukidnon. He's an assistant coach for the San Sebastian Staglets in the NCAA Juniors, so please welcome to Court Report, Coach Raymond Mercader. Hi Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Coach Raymond, coming from Bukidnon, you've had a lot of experience with the NBTC. It's a very familiar program for you. Gaano katagal na po ba kayong nag-interact with the NBTC system?
I started joining the NBTC way back 2012. So it's like 13 years already and counting.
Gaano kalaki na po ba yung pagbabago from 2012 when you first joined NBTC to how the program is today?
I think it's, when we talk about the teams, is mas dumarami yung teams. And then, it's like an open tournament na kasi during that time, when I started, it's like inter-school NBTC. So, sa ngayon is may ball club na. And then, ang pinaka maganda is may international teams na.
Right.
So, sa national. So, yun yung mas challenging for us na mas mas eager kami na manalo.
You mentioned yung ball clubs ngayon, how parang kasing dami na ng mga ball clubs ngayon, yung mga teams coming from schools. So, in this season, with which ball club are you sa NBTC?
I'm still in the school base pa rin. In Valencia City, IBE College of Mindanao. So, yun yung team ko. But previously, Infant Jesus School of Bukidnon bago mag-pandemic yung team ko sa high school.
So that particular team actually performed very well in 2020. You mentioned before we recorded na you won championships and qualified sa higher levels ng Palarong Pambansa and the NBTC. You even qualified for the national finals. Pero naudlot because of the pandemic. So can you take us back through that time? Ano yung pakiramdam for you, for the players, knowing na nandun na kayo? And then the pandemic happens and just throws everything for a loop.
At first, it's just frustrating talaga kasi pinaghandaan namin yon. We prepare our team because a year before that, 2018, we play against Cagayan de Oro in the championship din, Mindanao Final. So we lost against SPC with Coach Dankal. And then, yung mga players at ako, na-motivate kami na next year, kukunin natin para makalaro tayo sa NBTC National Finals. Kasi ito yung pinapangarap ng mga players namin. Kasi pagdating mo sa National NBTC, mas makikita ka na mga coaches eh. Kasi yung pangarap ng mga players ko is that makuha sa UAP or NCAA. So, nung time na yon na nanalo kami in Surigao, yung venue nun, sobrang saya namin kasi we are underdog. Yung kalaban namin is a former Division 2 champion. And then at the same time, they are the defending champion in Mindanao Finals. So, it's like determinado yung player na pinaghandaan talaga namin. And it was a close game. We won by just, I think, 2 points. So, after that, nag-prepare kami ulit for the national because I know yung taas ng level ng national kasi may mga teams pa from other countries and also UAAP NCAA team. So, but 1 week before, meron na kaming ticket paalis kasi dapat 1 week nandito na kami para maglaro kami ng mga tune-up games. Pero naudlot doon, gawa ng nag-lockdown na. So, yung mga bata at first talagang nangihinayang for the opportunity. But on the positive side, sinabi ko sa kanila that we will look forward on the next, lalo na pag-college nyo. So, I think yung mga players ko naman, those batch is dalawa doon, MVP na ng Cebu, si Sapi, in the UB Green Lancers.
Coach Raymond, zoom out tayo and talk about yung punto de vista ng mga taga Mindanao or mga taga Bukidnon. Is there a chip on your shoulder kapag lumalaban kayo against Metro Manila teams or you enter into a tournament tapos talagang labanan ng different regions of the country?
I think yung pinaka-disadvantage namin is the height talaga. Number 1 talaga yon. And then at the same time is yung exposure ng mga player. Kasi dun sa amin is bihira lang kami makapag-compete dito. It's because of financial matters. So, yung dalawang yon, medyo mahirap sa amin yon kumbaga i-compete sa ganon. Kasi when you compete in Manila teams, it's like all the good players in different province nandito sa Manila. So, it's hard to compete talaga. But, doon kami babawi, doon sa sistema na ginagawa namin. That's the reason why I keep on learning, studying abroad para yung mga matutunan ko, yung sistema na i-apply namin, kahit underdog kami, maganda pa rin yung sistema. Because at the end of the day, it's not the win or lose. It's your players, how they play the good basketball. So I think it's more entertaining basketball. Kaya at the end of the game, mahirap din kaming talunin kahit underdog o undersized kami.
Tayong mga Pinoy, di ba, we're very regionalistic. We identify with yung mga pinanggagalingan nating probinsya or hometown. And we say na, kaming mga taga Manila ganito, mga taga Cebu ganito, mga taga Davao ganito. When you talk about players from Mindanao, how do you differentiate them from players from other regions in the Philippines? May defining trait po ba yung mga ganong klaseng player?
I can say is that yung motivation ng mga players kasi I can say is that most of the players in our province is like I can say is that some of them cannot continue studying if they are not scholars. So yung motivation nila to continue their studies is magsipag sila maglaro. So kaya makikita mo most of the players na galing probinsya or galing Mindanao, talaga mga fighter, tinatawag namin fighter talaga kasi sanay sila sa sanay sila sa hirap, sipag, at saka yun yung dala-dala nila Because of their ambition na makatungtong sa NCAA, UAAP, yun, sobrang sipag nila. At saka yung motivation sa kanilang pamilya, talagang iba talaga. So, even ako, I experienced also nung kahirapan sa buhay. So, isa rin yung nakakontinue ako ng pag-aaral because of scholarship. So, at saka yung ibang players na din na nandito sa Manila.
Coach, currently you're with the San Sebastian Staglets as an assistant coach, right? But when we talk about yung mga pagiging assistant coach, for the everyday viewer, it's kind of hard to understand ano ba talaga yung ginagawa ng assistant coach. So tipong report cards dumadaan sa inyo, coach?
As much as possible, ganon din. Kasi every week, minomonitor namin yung performance ng mga players kung nag-absent ba. Kasi there's no way na mag-absent ka nasa dorm ka. And at the same time, yung mga nightlife, kailangan bantayan namin yan. So, yun yung advantage ko kasi nasa dorm lang ako. So, mamonitor ko yung galaw ng mga players namin.
So in some way, it's like parent kayo on campus nitong mga students.
Yes, tama. It's more than a coach. Parent, a coach, a mentor, or yung talagang kuya nila doon sa loob at labas ng Baste.
Has it ever happened na may student from, hindi natin sabing Mindanao, from another province na malayo, comes to Manila, and then nakita ninyo na talagang nag-struggle, hindi makakompete, and they had to go back home? Has that ever happened?
Meron. Pero sometimes, unang-una is, you need to help him. Paano siya kasi minsan naninibago in 2 months, or 1 month, or 3 months, naninibago. So, hanggat maaari, tulungan mo siya na maka-recover or maka-adjust sa sarili niya. But, when time na talaga masasabi natin na hindi siya pwede, so, yung first option is that you find another school or another club na pwede siya makapasok na mag-fit dun sa skill level niya. So, kumbaga, hindi naging close yung door mo na tulungan siya. But sometimes, there are players na talagang pasaway. So, you need to advise na, nung coach nila na, okay, uwi ka muna kasi hindi ka pwede dito. So, yun yung worst. At saka for us, masakit kasi kinuha namin eh. And then, all of a sudden, ganon.
Hindi nag-work out?
Oh, hindi nag-work.
Coach Raymond, kanina nabanggit nyo rin na you've had the opportunity to learn abroad and to integrate that into your work. And you're a team attaché for the Lithuania men's basketball team, right? So nung World Cup, naka-Lithuania colors kayo, yung Grateful Dead. So how did that happen? Paano kayo naging part ng Lithuanian men's basketball team?
It's a long story because way back in 2019, pumasok sa isip ko that I have so many, kulang pa sa coaching skills ko. So, until such time na nag-search ako sa internet kasi I need to study talaga abroad para madagdagan yung kaalaman ko. Kasi yun nga, yung level of basketball sa amin sa Bukidnon, kailangan talaga mag-upgrade. So, the only way na madagdagan yung kaalaman ko, aside of NBTC and other coaches convention na every year sumasali ako. So, nag-search ako sa internet and yun, nakita ko yung International Basketball University. And so happy na Lithuania, one of my favorite team is Litova Basketball. So, I'm curious about it. Paano nila na-establish yung basketball nila na kahit maliit silang bansa, sobrang lakas nila na team in the world. So, hindi sila nawawala sa top 10. And dagdag pa nito yung Sabonis, na isa sa magaling na player. Idol ko rin yun.
Are you talking about the father or the son? Arvidas or
The father.
Arvidas, okay.
Yeah, Arvidas. So, until nag-email ako sa kanila. So, it took, I think, 3 months na nag-reply. So, nung nag-reply doon, nabi ko na how much yung gagastusin ko ganito para makapag-aral ako ng intensive course for basketball coaching and management kasi meron silang mga degree course, meron din mga master's degree and doctorate degree. So, in order pa, mag-start ako doon sa intensive course. Then, nag-reply ganito, it took 10 months na talagang nag-ipon talaga ako. So, para sinabi pa nga na iba na obsessed daw ako sa basketball kasi gumagastos ako ng malaki. But, doesn't matter kasi ang nasa isip ko is self-fulfillment and at the same time, madagdagan yung kaalaman ko.
Kasi investment din po yun.
Investment kasi the more na madagdagan yung kaalaman ko, mas maturo ko na maayos doon sa mga bata, which is yun yung gusto ko talaga na makita ko may isang player na aangat, even PBA or national team, yun yung talagang pinapangarap ko. So, in order na matupad yun, kailangan maging equip ako.
Right.
Kailangan i-enhance ko yung skills ko. Kasi kung limited lang yung tuturo ko or hindi pasok doon sa high level ng basketball, wala rin mangyayari. So, I never think about negativity. So, yun nga, ipon lang. Nanghiram pa nga ako kasi kulang that time. So, And then, nakapunta ako doon, naging maganda yung samahan namin, kasi bihira lang sa mga Europeans na mag-ano sa atin eh.
To meet a Filipino, to interact with one of us, yeah.
Yes. So sobrang saya ko. It's more than the money, yung connection namin, na build namin even until now. So hanggang doon nangyari no na nag-request talaga si Mindaugas na ako na talaga yung nakaplat na team attache kasi for a reason na yung pagkakilala namin at saka yung partnership namin is nabuo na eh. So yun, malaking bagay yun sa akin na may trust sila sa akin at nagkaroon ako ng pagkakataon na makasama doon sa World Cup. So, maraming natutunan ko sa World Cup. The way they manage the team and even budgeting and everything about basketball. Doon yung nakita ko na kaya pala isa sila sa pinakamalakas na team.
So bilang team attaché ng Lithuania, kayo po ba yung parang nakikipag-usap with the LOC or the local organizing committee? Like, what was that specific job?
Yung team attaché is that we guide them dun sa practice. Kami yung nag-communicate when it comes to practices, dinner, and then everything dun sa mga LOC, yung mga update ng LOC. And then, yung mga tourist destination, Intramuros.
So logistics talaga?
Yes. So, almost every movements ng national team is nandun ako.
Mm-hmm.
So, kasama ko nga pala si Coach Jenkins ng San Beda noong time. So, we enjoy a lot. We learn their system, we learn their culture as well kasi pag-usap kami. And at the same time, nagkakaroon kami ng bonding with the NBA players like Valenciana. So,
Yeah, Jonas Valanciunas, Domantas Sabonis.
yeah, during that time, Sabonis is
Yeah, he wasn't part of the World
available.
Cup at
It's
the
not-
time.
yeah.
Right. Coach, yung story ng Lithuania, for yung mga viewers natin who might not be familiar, di ba? It started out, yung federation nila, in the 90s, early 90s, kasi coming from a war-torn situation, and then it took funding from the late Bill Walton and the Grateful Dead para mabuo yung basketball system in Lithuania. Do you identify with that underdog story, being from Bukidnon, kaya rin na-attach kayo sa Lithuania, and how they were able to build something great out of literally nothing?
I think all in all is like you are like for example is yung Lithuania story is the Grateful Dead. It's like finding ways na mapunta ka doon kasi in real life kasi meron tayong kasabihan na kung ayaw maraming dahilan, kung gusto maraming paraan. So when we talk about the Grateful Dead, ginawa nila ng paraan paano sila makasali doon sa Olympic.
Yes, to raise funds talaga.
Yes, nag-raise ng pan. So I think it's a learning lesson din for us. And I realized na pagdating sa World Cup or either Olympic, needs talaga ng malaking budget talaga. Pero kahit gaano man kalaki yung budget, pag gawan mo ng paraan, makakaya mo yun. Same as me. Like, I'm from Bukidnon, I'm dreaming or my goal is makapunta ng Lithuania, ginawan ko ng paraan, although it's not direct, but it takes time, it takes hard work, patience, determination, na mabuo yun hanggang sa mapunta doon. Kasi it's not only my victory. It's the victory of our province, it's the victory of our players, and that's the key na nagkaroon kami ng chance na manalo kami sa Mindanao Finals because what I've learned there, yun yung napasok, especially on the offense, is the tactical and the technical side of offense. Malaking bagay talaga yung natutunan ko doon. Kasi the more na, even we are undersized, underdog, the more na we play a smart basketball, we play a unselfish basketball, our ball movement, although not polished pa talaga during that time, but our ball movement and ball sharing is that it's like talaga yung natutunan ko talaga doon. And I understand their system. It's like unselfish basketball and smart basketball talaga when we talk about European or Lithuania basketball. Saka, yun, masaya ako. It's more than enough na yung nabalik sa akin. Especially my players right now. It's thankful ako sa Panginoon na it's like imposible na naging posible yun lahat. If I imagine right now, talagang hindi madali.
Coach, yung kinuwento nyo is basically the Lithuania story. Kasi you found a way to find a way.
Yeah.
Nag-raise kayo ng funds and everything. So I don't mean to put you on the spot, Coach Raymond, pero para sa mga aspiring coaches or even young players who hope to one day travel the path that you did, magkano ba yung ballpark range na kinailangan yung i-raise to get to Lithuania and to study there, to be able to learn everything that you learned?
During that time, I invest like 300,000.
Pesos.
300,000 pesos. Then, nangutang ako with my brother and sister-in-law, 100,000. So, yung 100,000 na utang yun, I think 2 years ago ko lang nabayaran. From 2019 to 2023, it took 4 to 5 years ko na nabayaran. But, yun nga, no, nahiya nga ako sa kanila eh. Kasi sobrang tagal ko nabayaran. But, again, all in all, sobrang saya ko talaga. Nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila doon sa mga naging part na nakapunta ako doon. And even last year, nakapunta din ako. So last year, nagdala ako ng players. They pay their own. So they do training camps and games.
Wow. So that's great experience para sa kanila.
Yeah. And at the same time, nagdala din ako, nagsama ako ng mga coaches to attend the coaches clinic there and then to watch Eurobasket. So I cannot explain my feeling. So it's like fulfilling for me. So masaya ako na hindi lang ako, may mga players din na natuto, may mga coaches din na na-inspired din at nakapunta doon. So it's like, sabi nga nila, pwede mo namang i-keep kasi pag i-keep mo, yung competition is wala silang alam.
Yeah.
But I want to share it. So kaya during the pandemic, nagkakaroon kami ng online clinic. So with the Lithuanian coaches, so online clinic. So at least na-share ko rin kung ano yung natutunan ko. Na the more na matuto sila sa natutunan ko, yung competition is mas aangat.
Yes.
So the more na aangat yung competition is that bawat isa sa amin mag-i-improve din, magli-level up din. So yung mga players din. So I think it's one way na one of these days makakapag-compete talaga yung Mindanao sa Manila team.
It's very much like the unselfish basketball that you shared
Yes.
kanina, but you share the wealth with everyone. So, Coach Raymond, as we wind down yung interview natin, ano po yung message ninyo sa mga taga Bukidnon or even mga taga Mindanao, whether they're young players or they're aspiring coaches, para maabot nila yung mga pangarap nila or magaya nila yung path that you traveled?
I think number one for me is yung disiplina eh. Disiplina and then yung focus mo. Kasi I have so many players na nalaman na nandito na and even right now is that nandito na sila tapos yung iba nawawala eh. Kaya nawawala yung iba, it's because yung focus nila na nandito sila to study and play basketball. Yung iba kasi, nightlife, so undisciplined, so nawawala sa focus. And at the same time, yung pangarap nila na nandito na sila, kailangan nilang yun, tuparin yun. And then, at the same time, yung pagiging coachable. Dapat coachable ka, doon pa lang sa province, dapat gano'n na yung gagawin mo. Kasi pagdating dito sa Manila, iba yung level eh. Kailangan mo rin mas magsipag palalo. And then at the same time, yung crowd dito talagang iba. Pag ano pala ng drums, talagang maano ka na kung di ka sanay sa pressure, talagang mawawala ka sa laro. And at the same time, kailangan mo talaga dito is yung pray. Tapos gawin mo kung ano yung pray mo. Kasi pag wala kang guidance from the Lord, talaga mawawala ka dito. And then isa pa is that maging mas masipag ka lalo. Kasi pag the more na masipag ka, hindi ka pwedeng doon lang sa practice. Kailangan may individual training ka rin. Pero kung hindi ka sanay doon sa province, talagang pagdating dito, maninibago ka talaga. So, it's a good opportunity. Yung ibang players, nangangarap na mapunta dito, Tapos pag napunta na, doon na, mawawala na. So, kailangan lang talaga yung focus, determination. Isipin nyo yung mga taong sumusuporta sa inyo na family na once nakatungtong kayo dito at nandun na kayo sa tuktok at malapit na kayo sa PBA. Yun yung pinapangarap ng bawat player, malapit na sa PBA. UAP, NCAA, stepping stone na yan to enter PBA or even the national team. So, ang mas i-priority natin dun sa dalawa. Studies, basketball. No other else. And then by the time na successful kayo, ito yung advice ko sa inyo. Huwag niyong kalimutan yung parents nyo. Kasi yung iba, pag successful na, doon na nakafocus sa girlfriend or other. Ito yung pinakamagandang gawin nyo as player kung nasa successful na kayo. Huwag niyong kalimutan yung parents nyo. Kasi at the end of the day, it's either failure or doon na kayo sa success. Yung mga parents nyo, hindi yan mag-iwan sa inyo. Diyan sila, from the very start, na hindi pa kayo magaling, nandyan na sila. So kaya mahalin nyo yung parents nyo. Kasi everything will follow. You love your parents, you love your coach, you love your teammates, you have pride sa inyong school, paglaban nyo yung school, and everything, yung resulta is mas maganda.
On that note, maraming salamat, Coach Raymond Mercader, for joining us here and sharing all of your stories, your insights. Yung mga younger players natin, yung mga viewers, I'm sure marami silang napulot na mga payo na kailangan din nila talagang marinig from someone like yourself, diba? And that extraordinary path that you've traveled. So thank you once again for joining us, and make sure to follow us on social media and stay tuned for any updates about your NBTC. That's it for us this week. Thank you once again for joining us for another episode, and make sure you tune in to our NBTC Philippines Facebook page for all of the updates as we make our way towards the 2026 Smart NBTC National Finals, and most importantly, Madness in MOA. We'll catch you next week. I'm Stan C, and this has been your Court Report.
In the paint, stops on a dime, gets that one to fall.
Hitting the first three for either side in this match, and answers right back.
Ivor Napa, 4-3. That straightaway three is good. Of course, these two teams know each other well.
So now the Truth turns the ball over again. On the run in the bullpup. Bolina, it's good.
Dasendaha, they've been doing this
Watch
for
out.
years. Oh, Lino Mari with a stop.